Well, if you are just about finished worrying about getting the 131, you're starting to worry about what happens when the cat comes home and what you should do about those restrictions the clinic gives you. And by the way, this is Ariel. She's our current Hyper-T kitty. Now this will take a bit of a while for the video, so if you need to just skip to the parts that you're most paranoid about, go ahead. First we'll deal with what is normal when a cat comes home and maybe when you should worry. Now, as usual, normal for a cat is a pretty tricky thing because it covers a wide range. Some cats walk in, sniff the house, and act like nothing ever happened. Others have a bit of lethargy because their T4 is low. Others stay hyper for a while, and some go back and forth. You can expect a little bit of an eating problem for a day or two. Won't necessarily happen, but it often does. And humans report a metallic taste or a bit of a sore throat after the 131, so the best guess is that cats experience much the same thing. It, again, usually passes quickly, no big deal. If a cat gets really lethargic, develops constipation or vomiting, or the not eating goes on for more than 2 or 3 days, then you start to look for stronger action. Most likely it's going to be T4 staying too low is affecting the kidneys. And that can happen, it's usually not immediately after a cat gets home. It's more likely to be 2 or 3 weeks down the road. But it's usually not a big deal. Most of the time, some of the ordinary things for dealing with appetite will help. And you can find those in my video on appetite issues on this channel. You may need to give sub-Q fluids at home. Might need a vet trip, particularly to double check the T4. And your vet might or might not be willing to see a cat sooner than 30 days after the 131. But that's usually the sum total of problems after the 131, and they can be dealt with as long as you're paying attention. Now, those restrictions. What you're told you can and can't do is going to vary from state to state. And some of the clinics will make it sound really serious. You know, you're going to be thinking that the police will be coming for you if you don't follow them. And other clinics will tell you follow them if you want, ignore them if you want. Let me look first at the nature of the 131 itself, the radioactive iodine. It consists of 2 types of radiation. The beta particles are what kill the tumor. But they can't pass through much of anything. We think of radiation as, passing through things. Well, different types of radiation behave differently. And the reality is, if I had beta particles right here, this shirt would stop a lot of it. Now, obviously, I've got exposed skin. You don't want beta particles right with you. But the amount that you start with is very small. The reason it doesn't affect, healthy tissue next to the tumor is because it doesn't pass through much of anything. Then it's processed out through the urine into the clumping litter that they'll tell you to use. And by golly, even the clumping litter pretty much contains the radiation of the beta particles. So the part that does the job is actually the part that is most limited. The other part are gamma waves. Now, gamma waves will pass through darn near anything, but they're not particularly dangerous, except in extremely large doses or a high increase in lifetime exposure. That's why the person who takes the x-ray goes in another room and you don't. Yeah, you're not placed in danger by the x-ray. Yeah, they'll cover your body a bit, but you're exposed to more gamma waves by taking a plane ride. You're exposed to more gamma. You're exposed to gamma waves all the time. Right now, I'm being exposed to gamma waves because they're in the atmosphere. The atmosphere reduces our exposure, which is why as you go higher in the atmosphere, you're exposed to more. But people don't tell you not to get x-rays. It's not really a good hobby. Yeah. And they don't tell you not to take plane rides because it's not really that big a deal. And, as far as I know, there is no study showing that frequent flyers are more likely to get cancer. I think we would have heard about it. So, the idea that you have to put the cat in a room in isolation for a week or two really doesn't match the science. It matches the paranoia, particularly for those of us who grew up watching horror movies about giant monsters caused by radiation. And more than anything else, it matches our legal paranoia. They want to make sure people have no way of coming back. I got cancer 30 years after my cat got 131, therefore I want this place to pay. It wouldn't be a legit case, but the easiest way to avoid having to fight such cases is to just put up these ridiculous restrictions to begin with. And it's becoming more of a problem. We've gone from risk management to risk aversion, and that's a whole different subject. My personal guide, if we were to get a cat, the 131, would be no eating the used litter. I'm hoping people don't find that too difficult, but please don't eat the used litter. If you absolutely have to eat the litter, eat the clean litter, but please don't eat the clean litter. That's no good for you either. No drinking champagne toast from the pee. No baking chocolate chip cookies from the poop, even for a neighbor you don't like. And you probably shouldn't wrap the cat around your neck all day. And you probably should limit French kisses with the cat. That's pretty much it. Now, you will get restrictions on storing the litter for a while before you send it to the landfill. That's because the landfill sensors would, might go off due to the radiation. But follow those. I wouldn't use flushable litter. And if you have a septic system, do not use flushable litter. But mostly those restrictions are legal butt covering, not science. It's up to you, but I've told you pretty much how I would handle it. Now, of course, those are the same ways I handle daily things. I generally speaking, don't eat the used litter and don't bake chocolate chip cookies for us or our neighbors. I hope that helps. I hope I've made you a little less paranoid, not more paranoid. Got to remember every cat is different, so kind of work with things. I will deal with, what to do as far as post I-131 testing and dealing with low thyroid in a separate video. Good luck. Lots of purrs. See you later. Oh, and please click the thumbs up, subscribe, and share the video so I have a chance to monetize this site and make money to feed the cats. We have a lot of cats. So, appreciate your help. Talk to you later.